Welcome to AI World TV, your go-to destination for everything artificial intelligence. Discover the captivating landscape of AI, where advanced technology finds real-life application. Subscribe to AI World TV for webzine articles, reports, podcasts, videos, live events, and latest trends. Hear from top industry leaders and discover how AI is transforming industries and our daily lives.
You know, if you feel like the world of artificial intelligence just changes every 6 months, you're not wrong.
Oh, not at all.
But based on the material we've been digging through, and this is a deep analysis dated late 2025, it is so clear we've passed a critical inflection point.
It feels different this time.
It really does. I mean, AI is no longer just some emerging tool. The report states it has rapidly matured into foundational infrastructure. We're talking across every major domain: finance, logistics, healthcare.
Everything. It's the new operating system for global business, basically.
And what's fascinating about this moment, and what this source really drives home, is that the conversation isn't about if you adopt AI anymore.
Right, that's a given. It's now about how you implement these completely autonomous systems. We are seeing a structural shift that moves us out of the generative era.
The content creation era.
Exactly, and into something much more profound.
So, okay, let's really unpack this for you. The core of this analysis focuses on the rapid rise of what they're calling EAI agents.
And that E is important.
It is. It stands for enterprise, executable, and embodied. And that's a huge distinction, right? We're no longer talking about a powerful chatbot or, a simple software assistant.
Yeah, you're close.
This is an entirely new operational layer. It's designed not just to help us analyze things, but to actually act on the world. They can reason, they coordinate, they execute, and here's the key difference: they persist across time.
They don't forget. They remember what they did yesterday, what they learned last week.
Exactly.
And if we look at the immediate impact of that, the societal implication is just staggering. The material highlights this dramatic collapse in the barrier to having a global influence.
What do you mean by that? A collapse in the barrier?
Well, imagine a world where these tiny, lean, AI-enabled organizations, they call them the hyper-scaled startup, or even a single sovereign operator, can leverage these EAI agents
And what?
and rival the execution capacity of massive traditional corporations.
Wow. Okay, so that sounds like a radical redistribution of power. If execution capacity is democratized like that, the whole game changes.
It absolutely does. The source frames this as a shift in economic gravity. It's not about size anymore. It's about who can leverage intelligence most effectively.
So our mission for this deep dive is to really get under the hood of this tectonic shift. We need to look at the new architecture of these agents, clarify how this agentic era is different, and then dive into some very concrete predictions for 2026.
Okay, so to understand this agentic shift, we have to recognize that the focus has moved way beyond just the size of the language model.
Right, it's not just about more parameters.
Not anymore. This next phase of AI is defined by 3 interconnected pillars, and they really emphasize capability, coordination, and persistent context. These pillars redefine how we actually deploy this intelligence.
Let's start with that first pillar, because I think it's the most revolutionary: agentic reasoning.
It's the core of it.
It is. I mean, when we talk about these systems, we are moving so far beyond a simple Q&A model. We're talking about complex planning. They can take a huge objective, break it down into subtasks, use external tools to get things done.
And even delegate. They can delegate parts of the work to other, more specialized agents.
Exactly. And crucially, as we said, they maintain state and memory across days or weeks. They are persistent actors within an organization.
That planning and delegation, that's what makes them executable. And the second pillar really supports this by giving them a deeper understanding of the world. It's multimodal integration.
Or, as the source calls it, sensory intelligence.
Right, and what that means is these agents don't just read a spreadsheet. They natively process text, visual feeds, audio cues, and code all at the same time.
So give me an example, like a factory floor.
A factory floor is perfect. An agent could be monitoring it, and it's interpreting the live video feeds, the data from equipment sensors, and the maintenance logs all at once to make a context-aware decision about an operational failure before it even happens.
That's a huge leap from siloed data analysis. Which brings us to the third pillar, where the digital meets the physical world: physical embodiment.
This is where intelligence literally walks off the screen.
The report describes these agents integrating directly with robotics, with cyber-physical systems. I mean, think about that. An EAI agent can reason through a complex problem
And then
use that reasoning to physically navigate a laboratory or operate specialized equipment in a hospital, or manage inventory in a logistics hub.
It closes the loop. It moves from just giving you an answer on a screen to physically taking the required action in the real world.
Which, okay, that raises an obvious question for anyone listening. That sounds like an incredible concentration of power and a massive increase in risk. How do we govern intelligence that can physically manipulate the environment?
And that is the new central question. That's exactly it. It's no longer if AI can perform a task, but how we safely and, responsibly orchestrate large populations of these EAI agents.
So the governance and the oversight are the new bottlenecks.
They are. The raw intelligence is there. We've sort of solved for the mind. Now we have to solve for the society that uses that mind.
That focus on execution and orchestration really brings us to the core tension in the material, this gap between pure research innovation and, well, practical, reliable execution.
Right. We've seen years of these headline breakthroughs, but the analysis is very clear that the real economic value is now captured entirely by the teams that can translate those models into reliable, agent-driven systems.
The source gives a really sharp contrast between the two eras. So in 2024, the generative era, its main goal was content generation.
Better images, better text.
You are listening to the AI World Podcast, your trusted source for the latest innovations, insights, and trends in artificial intelligence, blockchain, fintech, and decentralized technologies. Each episode features expert interviews, engaging discussions, and in-depth analysis of how AI transforms industries worldwide. Stay ahead of the curve with the latest articles and exclusive reports from the AI World Journal, covering everything from emerging technologies to industry breakthroughs. For more news, global events, and access to AI World Society circle gatherings, visit us at aiworld.tv. Don't forget to subscribe to stay informed, stay connected, and be part of the AI revolution with AI World Lounge. Thank you for listening.
Text, better code snippets.
Right, and the safety model was human in the loop. You had a person checking the output before it went anywhere.
But now, looking ahead to this 2026 agentic horizon, the primary goal is goal execution and reasoning.
So we're not checking content anymore. We're checking decisions that have already been acted on autonomously.
Which means the trust model has to radically shift to autonomous alignment. And that's a huge leap of faith, which requires those robust governance systems we just talked about.
There's another key insight here I want to pull out for you. It's the change in the key resource. In the generative era, it was large data clusters, just raw, huge amounts of scraped data.
Right. But for the agentic era, the report specifically highlights the need for 101 AI World Encyclopedia data.
And that's not just a catchy phrase, is it?
No, it signifies a really important shift from mere scale to curated authority.
So why is that difference so critical?
No.
Why an encyclopedia instead of just a data cluster?
Because agents need domain-specific knowledge that is vetted, accurate, and structured. I mean, think about it. If an agent is executing a financial transaction or running a drug discovery experiment, it absolutely cannot hallucinate facts.
The bids are too high.
Way too high. It needs an authoritative, vast, and reliable knowledge base, a synthesized world encyclopedia of information to do its job consistently. The LLM is still the brain, but the encyclopedia is the necessary textbook for any professional application.
Okay, so if I'm hearing this right, the core large language models are still foundational, but the center of gravity has moved. The LLM is the powerful ingredient, but the actual product, the value, is the agentic system operating on top of it.
Exactly. The focus has decisively moved away from just making a better brain to building a smarter, autonomous nervous system that uses that brain to create real economic or scientific value.
Right.
And since execution is now the primary source of that value, the analysis gives 5 pretty concrete predictions for 2026.
Okay.
And these really outline where EAI agents are going to achieve breakthroughs and, frankly, accelerate the timeline toward that AGI horizon.
Let's start with the organizational ones, because I think these impact everyone who works in a company. Prediction 1 suggests that agent fleets will replace traditional software stacks.
This is huge.
It is. We're moving away from buying dozens of specialized SaaS tools, your marketing software, your finance software, your logistics software.
And toward what?
And toward agent-orchestrated operations that manage those entire functions end-to-end autonomously.
So instead of running a tool, you instruct a fleet of agents to, say, manage R&D efficiently and securely. And they handle the selection, the execution, the coordination, all by themselves.
And that velocity leads directly to prediction 4, which is the one that's the most mind-bending for me, the rise of the sovereign operator.
The power shifts from massive institutions to individual orchestrators.
I mean, a small team, maybe just 2 or 3 people, deploying an agent stack with the execution capacity of a Fortune 500 company. What does that even mean for someone building a career right now?
It means leverage is everything. Technical competence completely shifts from, say, coding ability to directive ability. The most valuable people won't be the ones who can execute, but the ones who can define the highest value objectives and ethically orchestrate the agents to achieve them.
It completely changes the structure of work.
Entirely.
Okay, so now for the industry-specific predictions. The report identifies life sciences as the first fully agentic industry. Prediction 2 claims agents will just dominate drug discovery, protein design, genomics.
Because it's the ultimate execution challenge. It compresses timelines that used to be measured in decades into months or weeks. Agents are running these continuous, autonomous discovery pipelines.
Designing compounds, running virtual trials.
Synthesizing samples in automated labs, analyzing the results, all without a human touching the execution cycle. That speed of scientific iteration is what pushes that AGI horizon so much closer.
And then, moving to high-velocity markets, Prediction 3 states that capital markets will go agent native.
And we're not just talking about high-frequency trading bots, not anymore.
No, these EAI agents will operate as continuous real-time financial intelligence systems. They'll manage everything from complex risk modeling to investor relations.
And the analysis points to the WeHad success story as an early benchmark for this.
What was that?
We had basically demonstrated accelerated market readiness. They deployed an agentic system that dramatically shortened their time to market for new product by automating regulatory navigation, financial modeling, even early investor communication.
It just shows the concrete advantage of agentic execution in securing and deploying capital at really unprecedented speed.
It really does.
Finally, we get to Prediction 5, AGI. And the analysis argues that AGI won't be some single Hollywood moment.
No light switch moment.
No. Instead, AGI will emerge as an ecosystem, a coordinated fleet of EAI agents operating across multiple domains, but with shared memory and shared goals.
That's right. And AGI, in this view, will be recognized retrospectively. We'll look back and realize the moment happened when these orchestrated systems of agents consistently outperformed highly specialized human teams across complex general objectives.
So not just beating a Go master.
Not just that, but mastering law, medicine, engineering, and creative synthesis all at once. That's when we'll know.
That makes the question of the human element totally unavoidable. If agents are taking over execution and small teams are scaling capacity like this, what is the human job description in this agentic decade?
The material frames this beautifully, I think. It says intelligence, no matter how autonomous, it remains a tool, not a destiny.
So the human role shifts from operator to director.
Exactly. We are responsible for the intent, the governance, and the values that are embedded in those agents.
Which makes the 3 governance imperatives laid out in the report just critically important. The first one is agent alignment.
Making sure their goals, their values, their incentives are perfectly matched to human objectives.
Right, because if they're just optimizing for efficiency, they might cut ethical corners unless they're aligned properly.
Of course. And second is the necessity of a robust human-in-the-loop escalation process. Autonomous alignment is great, but there will always be novel situations that require human judgment.
Or a moral compass.
Or a moral compass that the agent just doesn't possess. So you need transparent triggers for intervention.
And third, the need for transparent orchestration layers. I mean, if you have a fleet of 50 agents delegating tasks to 500 sub-agents, opacity is a massive risk.
You have to be able to audit it.
You have to be able to see and understand exactly how these fleets are making decisions. The report is very clear. Trust will define the velocity of adoption.
And ultimately, the focus for organizational competence in 2026 shifts completely. It's not about who can process the most data. It's about who can master agent orchestration, define those high-value goals, and ensure ethical, aligned execution. The human being remains the necessary point of moral direction.
So this deep dive into the agentic era shows us a landscape where, really, the primary source of value has fundamentally shifted from content generation to autonomous executable goals.
A huge change.
It is. These EAI agents, Enterprise, Executable, and Embodied, they're not just replacing software. They are creating massive operational leverage, promising radical acceleration in fields like life sciences and capital markets.
And for a final thought to maybe take away with you, Consider the philosophical depth of this transition. By constructing these increasingly general agentic systems that can learn and reason across domains, the researchers are, maybe inadvertently, gaining profound insight into human cognition itself.
Into our own decision-making. It becomes a scientific mirror.
A mirror reflecting our own intelligence.
Right. We're studying ourselves by building our mechanical reflection.
We are. But the material also reminds us of the remaining defining boundaries. Complex creativity, emotional resonance, moral judgment, and, true consciousness.
The big questions.
The biggest. And these are the frontiers where AI, neuroscience, and philosophy all converge. And they are the lines that still mark the distinction between a profound simulation and genuine sentience.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the accelerating world of autonomous agentic intelligence. We'll see you next time.
The future of artificial intelligence is unfolding, and it's happening at AI World Week, the flagship global event for innovation, collaboration, and transformation. This flagship global AI event is designed to connect visionary leaders, trailblazing entrepreneurs, and influential thinkers to explore the endless possibilities of AI. Experience groundbreaking technology that redefines industries and inspires progress. Join thought-provoking discussions on ethical AI, digital equity, and the transformative role of technology in our world. Build meaningful connections that catalyze innovation and drive impact. AI World Week is powered by AI World Society, a global movement dedicated to advancing AI responsibly and ensuring it serves humanity. Together, we're shaping a smarter, more inclusive, and equitable future. Continue your journey beyond the event with the AI World Journal, offering expert insights, in-depth analysis, and the latest trends shaping the AI landscape. This is your opportunity to lead, to innovate, and to transform the world with AI. AI World Week. We invite you to join us and embrace the AI revolution.